Hi, and welcome to Maintain Monday with the Young and Bold segment. I am your host today, Crystal, and I have my co-host with me.
I'm Jade. Hey, y'all.
Okay, so I would first like to thank you guys for joining us today, and I just want to give you um, an idea of what the show is going to be about. Well, today, you guys know this is the Young and Bold segment. So we have some young and bold couples that we are going to have a conversation with today. And today's show is talking about the different levels of love. We will be talking about the dating stage, the engaged stage, and the married stage. For anybody that is going through something in their relationships, I just hope this show, brings back the spark in your relationships. And we want these couples to give you guys advice on how to handle relationships, dealing with arguments, or, we're going to just talk about all of that dealing with relationships. Excuse me. And Jade.
Yes. All right. So before we introduce our first couple, we are going to watch this amazing video, well, a clip from this amazing video that kind of talks about love and what we think love is and how we define love. So take a look.
At its core, I think love is help. Everybody is having a hard time. So love is really devotion to their struggle. It's when you're committed to helping somebody with their life, helping them to suffer less, helping them to manage their minds and their emotions. I think love is a deep desire for our loved ones' growth and their blossoming and their all-around well-being. When you love somebody, you want them to feel good. You want them to be happy and you want to see them succeed in life. And love really demands an in-depth understanding of their hopes and their dreams and their fears, their needs and trauma. I think love is giving and sharing our gifts for the purpose of nurturing them and empowering them and helping them to create their greatest joys.
Wow, that was amazing. So now we're going to bring on our first couple. They are in the dating stage, which is like the second stage. First step, I think, is friendship, then dating, but So we're going to bring in Shanika and Trayvon. Hey, y'all.
Everyone.
Hi. Thank you for joining our show today.
Of course.
So can you guys tell us your story? Like, tell us about your relationship.
Okay, so I'll start and basically tell how we met each other. So we met each other. We've been together for it'll be 11 months on Wednesday that we've been together. And we actually met towards the beginning of when this pandemic and whole thing was about to happen and things like that. So it was my coworker's birthday, and she was like, okay, let's go to happy hour. This was back in March. And I was like, okay, I'll go. She was like, Shanika, I think I have somebody for you. I'm like, oh gosh, you know how people are always trying to set you up. And I'm like, oh gosh, so I asked her, I was like, okay, show me a picture. I was like, you have somebody? I was like, show me a picture. So she showed me a picture of a person, and I was like, no, that's not me. So, and I will say it was not him, the picture that she showed me. It was someone else. So I was like, no, that is not me. So I just went to the happy hour, not expecting to meet anyone or anything like that. So he was there, and it turns out that he's my coworker's cousin, but she did not show me a picture of him. So the night goes on. He actually started talking to me, and we exchanged numbers, and that's how our story goes, and we've been going ever since.
We went on our first date maybe a week after.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, he was determined. He said, "Oh, we going on a date as soon as possible." So, and we went on our first date just as things shut down. So,
Wow.
the our date was the day before the world literally shut down, and after that, you could not go to restaurants or nothing like that.
We had a whole movie theater to ourselves on the first date.
Yeah, our first date was a whole movie theater, and we went to dinner. It was nobody in the restaurant. So, yeah, that's pretty much our story, and we've been going ever since.
Okay.
It always be the ones that you don't be expecting. You be minding your business.
I really was minding my business. I think I noticed him one time, like I was on the phone and I was walking out the door. I was like, oh, he's cute, but not really like, like I'm not the type of person to approach nobody. I like to go with the flow. Like if he wanted to talk, like he's going to come up to me. Like I'm not about to press or pursue the issue. And that's just what happened.
Yeah, and then that's the best part sometimes. When you go
They be the
in not
best ones.
expecting it.
Yes. So yes, we've been going ever since, and yeah, everything's just been great.
Okay. So I have the pleasure of introducing our next couple, which is the married couple. And this couple is family. Like this is my cousin and his beautiful wife, Justin and Ashley Brown. Hi guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? Hey.
Welcome.
So can you guys tell us y'all love story, just about your relationship, how you guys met, how long you've been married, and all that good stuff?
I'll get the easy ones out of the way because I think Ashley tells the story better, and her truth is always the truth. So we've been together for 13 years now. So we've been married for eight of those years. So we met in college, but then I think that's where Ashley should tell the rest of the story.
Yes, we met in college. We both went to Notre Dame, and Justin is a year older than me, and so. I'm from Baltimore, and when I got to campus, I was just really missing people that were from the DMV and people that I could just bond with in a different way because we were from the same area. And so friends of mine mentioned that there was a gentleman in the dorm next door that was from Maryland. And so I was on the lookout for him because I wanted to just meet him and, know more about him. But when it actually happened and I was able to meet him, I walked up to him, I introduced myself. I was very polite. I was a young freshman. I'm young, so I was like 17. And I was just looking for connection and to say hello. And he was extremely rude to me. And yes, and he gave off a sense of just pompous and just very short. He played football, and so I felt like he was really feeling himself, and he was not so polite to me. And so I essentially wrote him off for much of my college career, and I stand by that until a few years later when a mutual friend connected us through a date that she really wanted me to go on a date with someone. I didn't know who it was. I found out it was him, and it was kind of like, I went on a date to appease my friend, and then things kind of went from there.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So Justin, did you like her and that's why you were being rude, or you was just being rude because
No, it wasn't about her. Quite frankly, it was about the company that she kept at the time, and she was with some people that I didn't, So I was just like, I'm
When
good.
you felt birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah. So I was just like, I didn't pay her really any mind because I was like, that's the crew, then we good. But as I got to see different parts of her, Ashley was in a musical at school, and I saw her in this musical, and I heard her sing for the first time, and I was like, oh, like maybe she's not who I thought she was, because it just like showed me a different part of her. And so, as I got to get to know her more, here we are.
Okay, great.
That's great. That's so funny to me. Again, another one of those things where you just don't know. You can't, sometimes you got to flip the pages a little bit, not judge a book by its cover. You got to flip the pages a little bit, read a little bit.
Hey, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
So thank you both couples for, sharing your story, but we're going to get into it. And
Let's get into it.
yeah, so we have some questions that we want to ask. Like for myself, I'm single and I haven't given up on love. I believe that, I'm very optimistic. So I believe there is somebody out there for everybody. Mine's just hasn't come yet, but I'm patiently waiting. So we're just going to get questions on how to handle yourself in relationships in each stage. Now, originally we had an engaged couple, but something came up, so they couldn't be with us today. So Justin and Ashley, y'all been through that stage. So we're going to direct those engagement questions to you guys. Jay, you can go ahead and start it off.
So first question, of course, either couple can ask, how do you prepare yourself in your singleness to date? Because you can't just pop off and start dating if you ain't ready. So what did you do to, I guess, like what steps did you take? Did you realize that there were some things that you needed to work on within yourself before you can love somebody else? Like what was it like in your singleness? And when did you get to the point where you felt like, okay, I think I'm ready to give myself to somebody else?
Well, I can start. So with me, I used to be a huge partier. So I had to kind of like take a step back, like, hey, my husband, I'm not going to be like really finding my husband out here in the club or at the bar. Like, I'm not, like, my husband is not here. He may, like, for some people he may be, but me partying and stuff, that was one of the things, like, I really definitely had to take a step back on and kind of like, hey, Shanika, you are at an age, you're grown, like, just calm it down a bit. So, that was one of the things I had to do with myself and, like, just kind of start to really, become part of that mature woman that, I know that I am, and I know someone would want to see in me. So that was one of the things I did. And also kind of just, I know one thing, like for me personally, I started to really, read, my mom gave me and my sister both this devotional book called the Proverbs 31 Woman. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the devotionals that I really started to focus on and kind of just read and kind of just dive in, kind of to just, make sure that I was mentally, emotionally, physically prepared for whoever my mate might be.
That's good. That's good.
Anything to add? How'd you prepare?
I just was patient.
No, you was good. You was just waiting for the time.
I was patient.
There you go.
So, Trayvon, let me ask you this. Now, you said, Shanika was saying that y'all met, during a happy hour or whatever. Was it your intentions to go there looking for someone, or you was just there and y'all just happened to meet each other?
I was just there. My cousin texted me that day while I was at work, and I'm like the chill, laid back one, so I don't even go out a lot. But it was my cousin's birthday, so she said, we're going out. So it's my cousin's birthday. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go. I get there and they're not there on time. I'm thinking about just leaving and going home, like. But I get there and I'm thinking it's just gonna be family, my cousins, uncles, aunts, whatever, and I see her there. And 11 months later.
So how did you prepare yourself to actually ask her to be your girlfriend? So what was that? What was that like?
How did I prepare myself?
Yeah. So did you really did it take you long to realize that you wanted to start a relationship, or you just was like, hey, this is who I want, this is what,
with her, it didn't take me long. I knew. It just felt right with her. It didn't take long.
Okay.
Did you ask, how did you ask her? Did you get on your knee and say, will you be my girl? Or did you write a poem? What you did?
I don't think it was nothing romantic. So like I said, we started dating during the pandemic. The world was shut down. Like the majority of our dates in the beginning was either FaceTime or of course just trying to meet up at each other's house.
Mhm.
So he literally, we were on the phone FaceTime, and he literally was just like, so we doing this right? Like you mine, I'm yours. I'm like, we done searching. I was like, hey, I'm down. I'm ready for this. So it was just that, and it was just as like with him, like I said, like he said, it just came so easy, and it just felt so right. Like nothing was ever forced when it came to us dating. Like it was just a easy go with the flow type relationship, and that's how. When I was looking for someone, like that's all I wanted was just an easy go with the flow relationship, no complications, nothing forced. It just always felt right no matter what.
And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be anything forceful. Love shouldn't I mean, you do have to, and I'm pretty sure the married couple can, give more insight on this. But I'm pretty sure there are some times where you are going to have to push a little harder to love them. But it shouldn't be a fight. It shouldn't be too hard.
Agreed.
So that's great. That's wonderful.
That's good. Now, Justin and Ashley, can you guys answer this? It pretty much just how did you prepare yourself to be in a relationship and then to actually eventually get to that married stage?
Mm-hmm. I think for me, I was not expecting a relationship. And so essentially my preparation was really the point where I was just preparing myself for adulthood. I think, going off to college and forcing yourself to get to know yourself and be comfortable with yourself and just have a different level of understanding about who you are and how you love yourself and how you feel about yourself really puts you in a position where you're able to contribute in a healthy way towards a relationship. So I went through a lot at college and just being away from home and being so stressed and trying to study and get my life together. I felt like in doing all of that, I was also preparing myself, for healthy relationships, whether that be in a marriage or other friendships, loved ones that I have in my life, just making sure that all felt right. And I'd say the other thing is just like, constant prayer. Even from a young girl, I feel like I was always praying for God to send me a man so that I could have this love story. And my mom will tell stories about this, how I was praying every night for my family, but then I just knew he was out there. And so I was just praying that God was keeping him and preparing him in the same way that I knew he'd be preparing me.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, Justin?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, I think for me, it's one of those things like, yeah, it's never, well, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's never, but, love at first sight isn't always a thing. And I think it was very true in our case because, sometimes when people meet, they're in different life stages, emotional states, etc. And it's just not right? It's not, to your point about forcing it, Jake, shouldn't have to force that thing into existence. And so, I think for me, yeah, it was certainly lived experience. And, I think even we were young, but I try to give myself actually credit in the fact that like we have matured in terms of like going through things, whether it be like friends or being away from home or, even relationships at that time. And I think, we took the time even when we did start dating to cultivate that, right? Because again, it was still like some volatility in the mix. Like Ashley was like, I'm gonna make it hard for him, right? And it was just like, okay, cool. Like I'll jump, but I was willing to embrace that. So, and then I think at some point it just kind of clicked, and then it was, rhythmic, like we were just supposed to be together, and we weren't supposed to be, and it's just like we made each other's lives better and easier, and I think that kind of helped us stick together like glue. Okay.
Now, are you saying that actually goes back to the video that we saw in the beginning? Excuse me. It goes back to the video that we saw in the beginning. When you love someone, obviously you want to see them happy. Love is when you encouraging that person, pushing them to pursue their dreams. So, you guys can build together And that's good. That's really good because that, coincides with the video that we played in the beginning.
Yeah,
Now,
love is an action word. I
yeah,
used to hear that all the time, and I don't think I really understood it until I actually got into a relationship where he was just like, I'm sick of you just saying I love you. I need you to show me what that means. So
exactly.
yeah, love is it is what you do. It's not, I mean, it is who you, well, Jesus is love. That's a whole nother conversation. But I mean, for the most part, love is what you do. It's
Exactly.
not a whole lot of talking with with love. It's a lot of doing.
Exactly. And I feel like you have to show, like she said, it's an action word. So you have to show that person you love them and not just constantly say, I love you, I love you. You can say I love you to somebody and then turn around and stab them in the back the next day. That's not love, but you have to show them. And I got another question real quick. Now, this question is based on family. Now, with the dating stage, so when you are choosing to date someone, do you feel as though your family's opinion is important about that person, or would you just go on? Let's say if your family didn't like that person, would you still take that step with that person to date them? What's your insight on that?
Listen, like that's like 100%. Like my family's opinion matters. Like I don't know, like my family, we are a close knit family. Like it's not a thing where I see them every other week or day. Like we FaceTime. Like we're a FaceTiming family. Like we FaceTime each other every day. But like their opinion matters. Like I was single, I want to say for 6 or 5 years before I met Trey, and I've dated people, but you could tell like they never met not one of those people that I dated, not one, until I met Trey. And when that day finally came, I was like, okay, I'm going to introduce him to them, and this is going to be like, this is going to make us or break us. Either they're going to like him or they not, and I'm just going to have to be like, thank you for your time, but we can't go on with your journey. Listen, their opinion matters to me so much. Like if they would have not liked him, that would have been devastating, because of course, like I really do like him, but at the same time, like my family, if like they are discerning people, like if they feel if someone is not right for me, they will let me know right off the bat, and I would have to, of course, trust their opinion because they've known me for all my life. Right. So that's just my opinion about it. What about you?
The same thing. No, same thing. Anybody that I've ever messed with or relationship with, if my mother didn't like them, like it never worked out. So like she has like an eye for those type of things. So and she loves Shanika. So
that's good.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm still fighting for mine. Jesus. I'm never even met her yet. She lives all the way in North. Well, I'm dating, so he's from North Carolina. His mother lives all the way in North Carolina. Haven't even met her yet, and she's always like, "No." I'm like, "Well, dang."
Right? Yeah, like, it's crazy. Like you just want to go and put your best foot forward. Like I was so nervous when I met his parents. I'm like, oh my God, if they don't like me, like this is going to be like that's like my worst fear. Like meeting his parents and like they did not like me, because like how could that work? Like
Nope, I get it.
That is true.
I get it 100%. Now, I think my thing is also my family don't always tell me the truth when I need to hear it. Like sometimes they be like, well, we felt like if we would have told you
no, tell me the truth.
No, because I wasted 2 years of my life and you could have just said no. Now I gotta sit here and heal from stuff that I didn't even have to go through in the first place. If you just
listen,
told me no. So definitely family input is definitely needed.
I think it is too. Yeah, I really think it is too. But Justin and Ashley, let me get y'all insight. But I'm gonna change it up a little bit because y'all are married. So let's say y'all went through the dating stage already, and your family, Justin, your family loved Ashley. Ashley, your family loved Justin, everything. But as time went on, before y'all got into, when y'all wanted to take it to that engagement stage, so what if your family noticed something about Ashley or vice versa that they didn't like? Would you still like continue? Y'all already past that. Y'all like one step to the engagement stage. So would you continue on with it, or how would y'all handle that situation as far as your family's opinion?
I think for me, I mean, that would be a really interesting dynamic if that were to happen. I think, you know, I think we're all on the same page that we all value family and value our family's inputs. And for me, part of my vision of what I wanted out of a marriage is just, you know, a very big family, my family, his family, being together, having kids. You have to have some sense of peace and synergy within a family unit. So if there was something that comes up at that stage that is a little bit of a situation or an area of opportunity, I would say it feels to me that all of your red flags you've already passed those things. So if something comes up, I think what we would have done is address it and try to work through it and really use that engagement stage, which we did, to really work out any other, you know, just little kinks and things that we knew we're going to need to get ourselves ready for marriage. We used our engagement as a time to really, truly prepare ourselves for that next phase. And so I think any other situation like that would have been thrown into the mix of just things that we were working on in preparation.
Yeah, what Ashley was leaving out is the fact that like we were long distance for most of our engagement, and a good part of our dating piece of it, right? Because like we were going into your senior year, and I was playing a fifth year of football. So like we were at college, like that was like 1 year together, and everything else between that and our engagement was long distance. And so I think we stress test a lot of those things. I mean, I think to answer your question though, like I'm probably like personality wise, if we'd have gotten to that stage and listened to family, I'm probably, depending on what it was, if they were like, yo, we saw her out with an old dude and she didn't tell you about it. Like, it just depends on what it was, right? But if it was something like nitpicky, it was just like, she can't cook, why would you marry her? But she can't cook. I'm just being clear. But like, if it was something nitpicky like that, I would just be like, all right, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know, that's just me personality wise, right? Like, I don't, you know that, Crystal. But yeah. So you know, it's. I mean, it just depends. But you know, quite frankly, I think we took enough time, I think, to pressure test those types of things, to expose each other to, like, not only like expose the person to our family, but expose our family to that person, because that matters too, right? Like seeing, like, your mom act like this, or your dad act like this.
Yes,
like,
in all ways. Yes, yeah, not just all the like very nice, like we choreographed it, so it was a beautiful time. We only saw each other for an hour, and then we had some things where we were like, we're in it.
You gotta know what you're buying. Like, I actually sat in on a family meeting one time, and that joint, it was my father's side of the family. We had a family meeting, and she had every reason not to be like, yo, you know what, I'm not doing this. But, you know, she was just like, you know, she stuck there, and, you know, it was something that was like, okay, cool. Like, I know that side of your family now. Great. Like, exactly. So, you know, I think it goes both ways. It's not just an evaluation either or. That's the opportunity to understand who your family is.
That's good. And real quick, the reason I asked that question is because with me personally, I feel like we all, like you said, we all on the same page where family is important. But I feel like if you were to take that next step with someone that your family did not like, that could eventually down the line cause family drama, break up with you and your sister, or your cousin jealous because this person dead, or, you know, stuff like that. And then I feel like that is not good for any type of relationship. I come from a close-knit family, and we never had any type of drama or jealousy or anything. So I wouldn't want that, I wouldn't want to be the one to bring that into
Right.
the family. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
And I feel like anybody else that's out there listening, if you are going through this dating stage or, the engaged stage, and you've realized that your family don't like the person as much as you do, I would definitely advise to take a step back, reevaluate that person for yourself, and then, talk to your family outside of, ask your family, personal questions about that person, like ask them why they don't like them and, stuff like that. So just for anybody out there that's listening, think about it before, taking that step if it involves family drama or family opinions.
Definitely. If I can play devil's advocate a little bit, just a little tiny bit, I think it's a consensus with all of us here today that we have, close-knit relationships with our family. That's why it's important. But unfortunately, there are some people who don't have that type of relationship with their family.
Exactly.
So you have to, I guess you just have to, pray a lot. And, if they do give you an opinion, still take it to heart. Because because at the end of the day, family is family. You only get one. I mean, you can create your family too and all that other stuff. But you only get one. So, take it into consideration, but then also take into consideration where it's coming from as well. Who's saying it? Do you really have a good relationship with this person?
Right.
Do you trust this person's opinion? Things like that. So, like Crystal said, if you with your family, you talk to them every day, you FaceTime them all day, and they've literally been with you from the jump, step back. But if it's somebody that we don't even talk like that, you don't even know me for real. Just kind of weigh your options and still observe what they're saying. And if you don't, you just think that they just jealous just because you can kind of let it roll off. And that's just me playing devil's advocate. But don't pay me no mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. All right, Jay, you can ask the next question.
Ooh. Well, I did want to ask Justin and Ashley, because you guys kind of mentioned that you guys were long distance for the majority of your building. How?
I mean, it was tough. It was really, really tough. Those are some of the toughest times that we had. Not only were we long distance, but the nature of our jobs put us in a position where our free time was not the same. So I was working in finance. I was young in my career. I was working a lot of hours. Justin was working at ESPN as a production assistant. And so he's, working on shows that air at he's working like from 7 to 3 in the morning, just crazy things. So like when I'm getting off work, he's already going to work. So we missed each other. So we, again, it was a lot of self-reflection. It gave us a lot of time to miss each other and really think about the things we were missing about each other, and really think about, is it worth the sacrifice? And I always knew that it was, because I never considered us breaking a long-term relationship to have the comforts of being in a relationship with someone who might be closer to me. And so we just had to be really, really planful and intentional about the times that we did spend together, even if that came with a sacrifice, like Justin getting off work from an all-night shift and still waking up so that he could drive with me on the way into work, or me working a full day, going to bed early, and then getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning so I could be with him while he goes home and makes dinner. Like little things like that, I think we had to really work through. And then also planning our times when we would come to visit and what that looked like. We were lighting those Amtrak miles up. I mean, we were spending a lot of money on train tickets and just traveling to be able to see each other and get as much time in as possible.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I was going to add to that. It was just like, I think it sounds rough, but especially when you're going through it and you're getting prepared for like that engagement phase, it's like you need battle scars. I think this is anything, right? Even like in your professional life, before you embrace like a big opportunity, like you need to be battle tested and to have battle scars. And I don't mean like, I ain't talking about like, massive scars, right? Because you shouldn't be so to the point where you can't heal from them. But you need like little tears, little scratches, little cuts here and there to try to test your fortitude a little bit, to see like how willing you are to actually stick it out with that person. And if the answer is continually yes, right? Like you start to answer your own question to a degree, which is like, how much do I love this person? Do I want to get married? You've already answered it because you've already put in that sweat equity. And I think that's what we have the benefit of with long distance. It's tough. It wasn't easy, but I think it's the reason why we're here right now.
And I don't ever I think about those times a lot, and I don't, as much as Justin and I were like, we're forced to be together all the time now, and it's like you're quarantined and you're in this small space and we have 2 kids and so much is happening, but it's like I value all the time I have with him, because I remember how sad I was when I had to live my life separate from him, and it was not fun. I don't want to do that ever again.
I think you guys hit it, Ashley, when you said it was intentional. Like y'all made the decision, like, okay, we've already said that we was going to do this. We're going to make this work regardless of the sacrifices. If I'm tired for a couple of hours, that's fine. If I got, like you said, if I got to wake up early to talk to him, or if he got to stay up a little later to be with me, it's okay. Like it was an intentional thing. Like it didn't just happenstance. You planned that this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let anything be in the way of this relationship, whether it's distance or whatever. I love it.
Yeah, that's good. Now, there's some relationships can't, but like some relationships can't, I guess they don't want to get to that, stay in that whole long distance thing. But some people it works, some people it don't work.
Not me. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know if me personally, I don't know if I'll be able to do the long distance thing. I think it's a big trust factor in that part as well. You have to trust your partner, because I'm sitting here home, and then even though like with you guys' example, both of y'all worked separate shifts or wouldn't allow y'all to, meet up at a certain time or whatever. But yeah, to me, it would have to be a trust factor.
Now I trust him. I'm just spoiled. So if I call you, I'm gonna need you to be here. Like I don't want to hear I don't want to hear just you're not doing nothing. I know your work schedule. You're not doing anything. I know your breaks. I know your lunches. You're home today. You don't have a meeting today. I have your calendar so I can see exactly what you're doing. Just be here. Like that's just me. But I know he's a singer, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to deal with it sooner or later. So
especially if you're traveling and different jobs,
is helping me a lot for what's to come.
Okay, well, let me ask this question. Now, with Valentine's Day was just passed right around the corner, do you guys feel as though Valentine's Day is just for females or males as well?
I think both.
Definitely both.
I think both. Like I got him a nice card. I got him like a nice little gift. Like I gave him a gift card. Like I think it's for both. Like both can be like we celebrate love, of course, every day. Like we don't need one day, but like I think it should be for both. Like I don't think it should just be for females. Like both can be appreciated.
We're a team.
I agree 100%.
A team. There you go.
That's how we have to be. I agree 100%. Now, my boyfriend then turned it into a competition. He even told me that I beat him in the gift giving department. I was like, boy, it's not about.
It's not. Like it's not a competition. Like this is just what was on my heart to give you. It don't got to be a competition.
So he's like, "Oh, you wait till your birthday." I'm like, "Okay, now see, this is what we're not gonna do. We're not
Right.
gonna do." Then so is that like a thing? Like has gift giving become like, "Oh, I'll gift you this year. Oh, you wait." Is that a thing?
I don't think it should be. I think it should be whereas whatever you feel as though, you want to give that person that day. And it doesn't necessarily only have to give gifts that day. But Justin and Ashley, what are your opinions on Valentine's Day? Is it for the ladies or just couples, or what are your opinions on Valentine's Day?
And we have
I think. Oh yes, we have a special guest. Our youngest, little Justin, is here. So LJ, we knew he'd probably wake up from his nap, and he did. But I would say that for me, I've always looked at Valentine's Day as just a celebration of love. And when I was younger, my dad did a lot to make sure that I felt appreciated on Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day was like great for my mom, but it was great for me and my sister too. And so I think for us, it's just a celebration and a remembrance of love. And I'm even more excited because now we go overboard. So like we did a lot for our kids this Valentine's Day. So they got a lot of stuff, and my daughter got flowers from her dad, and they're in her bedroom and she's all excited about it. And so it's like just reminding them that there's love in our house, and that that they can feel positive, and that is kind of how we run it. But we make sure that we try to make each other feel special or important or loved in various ways through the year, and not just on that particular day.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I would definitely. I like the part where she said like how they do it for the kids, like or how she mentioned about her dad. Like my parents, like they always made sure, even if we were single, like I was single, like they would make sure I would have a good Valentine's Day. I think one time, like I was just like at my apartment by myself for Valentine's Day, so they like sent me money to for dinner on them, and just made sure like Valentine's Day is just like hey, your loves, and no matter what. So I like that. Like my parents definitely made sure like we felt special regardless.
Yeah, I love that.
I think doing stuff like that for the kids on Valentine's Day, that kind of sets a tone for the child in a relationship. Because if a dad does that for his little girl, then that little girl is going to expect it, or not going to, settle for any guy that doesn't treat her, like her dad does. So I think that's a good example, for parents that's doing that stuff for kids. And in my opinion, I feel like Valentine's Day is for the male and the female couples and singles too, but it's more so, for couples to share their love together. I mean, even though if you're a couple, then you're sharing your love, every day, all day. But it's just that one special moment that you two get together to be able to, come together as a couple. Okay, so Jay, you can go ahead and to the next. Well, actually, hold on. I got a question. Now, this is for the engagement stage. So who said, well, Shanika and Trey, I don't know if y'all told each other I love you yet. I don't know if y'all reached that point. But who said I love you first? Justin, Ashley?
I think I said it first. I said it first with us. I said it first. I said it first, and I made a whole book. I made like a photo book, scrapbook.
Oh.
It was like for real. Yeah,
It was
very
nice.
cute.
It was really nice. And then the end of it said, "I love you."
Justin, what was your reaction? Was you expecting it, or did you already know? Was she giving you signs that she loved you prior to?
I mean, I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew she loved me. But no, I wasn't. I don't think I was surprised necessarily, but I think I still was like taken aback, right? Because like it's like the first time, once the cat's let out of the bag, right? Like it's out of the bag. So, her saying, and I think it meant a lot for her to say it first. Because I feel like dudes do end up saying it first, maybe a lot of times. Because I think like females are waiting for a guy to tell them and show them that they're committed. And the fact that she, I was actually planning to say it. And then she kind of just like beat me to the punch. But so it was kind of, it took me aback a little bit. I was really appreciative of that.
So I have a question now. So when is it ever too soon to say I love you? Like, is it a time limit on when you can tell somebody that you love them? Because I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. My boyfriend told me that he loved me first, and I promise you, we've only been dating for like 3 weeks. And I was like, what? I was like, are you sure? Like, yeah. I was like, we're gonna talk about that. Let's talk about it some more so you can be sure. Like, so is there like a time frame when you can say it? Is it, when is it too early? When is it, oh, you waited too long? Like, is there a thing?
I don't think there's a time limit on it necessarily, right? I mean, I think it's, to me, it's love is about, like, I think there's being in love and then there's loving someone too, right? Those two distinct things. And it's, if you know enough about yourself and what you're willing to give someone else, that you're ready to tell them that you love them. And by all means, I know people who have said I love you to their person, and it's like, well, I'm not ready to say that, right? I'm not ready to reciprocate that. And I think having that level of candor is important in a relationship too, right? So at least you understand where each other stand. So I don't know if it's too early. I feel like, more like people who are older, when they enter into relationships, can get there more quickly, because they know enough about themselves.
Right.
They're a lot more, I think, developed maturity-wise as individuals, and they know whether or not they're willing to give themselves to someone completely. And so I don't think there's a time limit on it personally.
Okay. Now, Shanika and Trey, Shanika, you said Trayvon said it first. What was your response? Were you surprised, or did you feel the same love that he felt at that point when he said it?
Yeah. As soon as he said it, I was like, in my mind, I was like, it's about time. I've been waiting to say it back. Like, thank you said it first. So yeah, no, like the feeling was, as soon as he said it, I was like, I think we were on the phone, and like he kind of was, I was like, were you gonna say I love you? And he was like, yeah, I love you. I was like, oh, I love you too. So it was kind of like the feeling was mutual, and it was just more so like about time. So like I can finally get this off my chest since you said it first.
I think it's a stigma that we women, that we fall first, so we be like, oh well, let me wait for him to say it first, because I don't want it to seem like I'm moving too fast, and if he don't say it back, I'm gonna be mad. So
yes, and I think with me, it kind of like that hit close. Like I've always been for these guys first, and like the feeling was never duplicated or mutual. So I was like, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna wait for him to say it, and then we're gonna go off of that.
Listen, I get it. I done had to kiss a couple frogs too, so I get it.
I literally looked at my best friend that last time. I was like, listen, I had to kiss frogs to get to this prince right here.
Some people might be afraid to say it first because of fear of rejection. Because if you in a relationship and you sitting there like, oh, I don't want to say I love you because what if they don't feel the same way? So that's why I asked a question. Did that's when I asked you, Justin, did Ashley show that she loved you before she said it, or was it just like? So I feel like you gotta, I don't know. I wouldn't want to say it first either, because like I said, I don't want to be rejected. Because if I say it and they be like, oh, I ain't on that level yet.
So, oh, well, bye.
Like every conversation after that would be so awkward.
So bad. It would be so bad. It would have to be, yeah, it would be so bad.
Yes.
I get it. That is so funny to me. I'm cracking up.
So we only got like 10 minutes left. So before we end the show, I do want to do a kind of a game like thing, see how well you know your partner.
Now, let's start no trouble with these couples. They love each other, okay?
So
they love each other.
All right, so I got a few questions, and I want I want you guys to ask. So since Shanika and Trey is up there first. All right. So Shanika, do you know his favorite color?
Yes, I do.
Trey, do you know hers? What is it?
It's purple.
Blue.
All right. And Justin and Ashley.
Justin likes orange.
Is that right, Justin? Okay, so what's her color?
Pink.
Pink.
Yeah, I like pink.
I do like pink. That's not my favorite color.
Well,
Oh,
What's my
okay.
favorite color?
huh?
You put it everywhere for my birthday. What is my favorite
Oh,
color?
red. That's
Yeah,
recent,
it's a
though.
new favorite, but nonetheless.
Man, that's not
Okay, so how about where do you like to go out to eat the most? Do you know where Shanika and Trayvon
I know where he likes to go out to eat.
where?
Chipotle. He loves like he loves Chipotle.
Do you know hers, Trey?
I know she likes like crab legs, so
That's one of my favorite foods. But like, where I like to go out to eat though.
Panera bread.
I've never even had Panera bread while we've been dating. Where did we go for my birthday? Where were we just at a few nights ago? My favorite restaurant.
Oh, Liv's girl.
I don't know where he got Panera bread from. For real.
They be saying things in their head. I'm convinced.
Oh
I'm
man.
confused about that one.
Okay, so Ashley and Justin, do you guys know each other's favorite?
Like favorite place. Justin has a steakhouse in DC that he really, really enjoys, that we've gone to a few times, that he talks about a lot.
Yeah, I think that's I like steak. The good steakhouse is certainly the move. Hers is like a good taco spot.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, I love tacos.
I love
Yes.
tacos too.
Oh, I love tacos.
Yes. Woo! A little taco, a little margarita. Woo!
Oh, a
yes.
good one. Listen,
Yeah, a good one. Yeah.
I
I
love
love me a good street taco.
Oh yes, yes.
All right, so really quick, we're gonna switch gears. I know I said we was gonna do that, but I did want to get in the love language. Do you guys know each other's love language, and how important is it to know your partner's love language? So there are five different love languages.
Mhm.
And they are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. We're going to start with Ashley and Justin. If you guys can tell me your partner's love language and how important is it to know that?
Justin's love language is physical touch. And so I was aware of that very early on. And I think that it's something that is important, but is also something that can be easily forgotten, especially as you get deeper into your relationship and other things are happening. We're like managing our careers and we have kids, and there's so many things that are a little bit different than when we were dating or engaged. And so when there are moments where you feel a little more distant or disconnected from your partner, I think it's just important to know that that's his love language. And so if I'm able to show him more physical touch and be more affectionate in that way, it's always been effective.
Okay. Now, how about you, Justin?
Ashley's with words of affirmation. That's her for sure. And to her recent point, it's like making sure that I keep that top of mind and like remain intentional about that, which is like a lot easier to do earlier on in our relationship. But that's like you throw things in the mix like kids, et cetera, right? Like you get distracted. And I think it's like, making sure that you make that a priority, making that person a priority and making them feel loved.
In a way that they want to be the priority. Because I think Justin always reminds me about my point of view versus his point of view. And so the love language is important because it's like showing someone that you care, but not in a way that, because I do things for Justin all the time, but I'm like, well, he should have really liked that because I would have loved it if someone did that to me. Like I said that, like, but it's, he has a different love language, so it doesn't hit for him the same way. So just, loving the person the way that they want to be loved.
Okay. And Shanika and Trayvon.
Okay, so his is, he actually has two. His is physical touch and words of affirmation. I want to say like maybe like the first week or like maybe like the second week of us dating, I sent him the quiz like, take this because I'm, just like I was like, I need to know what your love language is. So after that, like I saw that what it was, and words of affirmation, like I always make sure to keep him uplifted, say positive words and things to him all the time. And when it comes to physical touch, holding hands, giving him hugs as soon as he walks in the door, like, things like that. Like I always make sure like he knows that he is loved and cared no matter what. So, but those are his two.
Trayvon.
So hers is spending time, quality time, and receiving gifts. Gifts.
What's the quality time?
Right, so mostly quality time, which is like really easy for me. Like I'm so laid back and I like to chill out. Like so, sitting at home watching a movie together, like that's really easy for me to do. So it works out really good.
That's good.
I think it's really important for not just couples to know what each other's love language is, but for people that are single, know what your love language is as well, so that when you do meet somebody and you see that they're not loving you how you want to be loved, it won't be like a confidence thing. You'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. We're gonna move on to the next one. So I think it's very important for everybody to know what their love language is, so that they know how they were designed to be loved, and you won't just be falling for anything and everything and be just a mess. So yeah, love languages are very, very important.
Very.
Yeah, it is very important. So before we end the show, I do want each couple, Trey and Shanika, can you give advice for single people out there that are, looking to start dating, and a couple that is in the dating stage? Can you give advice to people?
I think the biggest thing is patience. I feel like as young people, we give ourselves these weird timelines, like this is supposed to happen here and this is supposed to happen there, and, So I think the biggest thing is just patience, just like kind of let things happen.
Yeah, I agree with patience. Like I said, like I was about to end up on somebody's dating show on TV, but patience is definitely key. I allowed it to happen, and this is where I'm at now. So I would just agree with just being patient. Your time will come.
Okay, great, thank you. And then, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you two?
I'm 30.
26.
Okay. Not the cradle. Go ahead.
Yes, just a little bit. Yes. Yes. And I will say he acts very mature for his age.
I would have never guessed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to Justin and Ashley. Can you give advice to the married couples out there or the engaged couples that is taking that step to get married soon? What is your advice?
My advice would be simply just to keep praying that God is going to lead you and order your steps and put you in the position where you can be happy in love. And if you feel like you keep getting that gut feeling, that intuition that something isn't right, then that's not it. And you shouldn't continue to force it. And then the other thing is just, continuing to work on yourself. I think a lot of times women particularly are fed this narrative. And so it becomes a thing where it's like, you need a man to save you and to take care of you and make you happy. And really, it's like you should be making yourself happy. You should be doing things for yourself that make you whole. I felt whole and confident and together before Justin entered into my life. And that put me in a position to be able to love in that healthy way. So just work on yourself, do it for yourself so that you can contribute to a relationship.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, I would say communication, right? Like communication and candor, just being like very clear with like, hey, this is what I expect out of this, out of you, out of us. And I think like laying that groundwork is fundamental to success, and it really beats out things like money issues or family interactions, right? Like as long as you two are always on the same page and being clear with one another, that is really, really, really important.
Fundamental. Because the infatuation stage is a stage, the lust stage is a stage. They're all beautiful stages, but at some point, you're in quarantine with 2 babies far away from home, and it's just you and you gotta be figuring it out. And so you go back to the basics. And it's like,
Right. Okay. Well, it looks like our time has come to an end, and I do want to thank you two beautiful couples for joining us on our show today and giving your advice and letting us in on your relationships. And I want to thank everyone that took the time to watch our show today. You can catch us every 4th Monday of each month for the Young and Bold segment. We'll be talking about different topics. If you have any topic suggestions, then you can give us a go to our website, www.elevationglobalmediagroup.com, or send us an email right on the chat in the show every 4th Monday at 12 o'clock on our Facebook page and also our YouTube page. And don't forget to like, follow, and share. Thank you guys for joining us. And
Thank you so much.
I hope you guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rap.
thank you.